Greetings, Sir and Sirettes, and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to our little oasis in the corner of the Scorched Earth DLC. In today's episode, we are going to be doing something a little bit different to what I originally had planned. In the last episode, I discussed the possibility of exploring some more, or perhaps building up our base, but in true Lathrixian fashion, I have decided to do neither of these, and instead we are going to be playing with fire, because playing with fire is fun, and can burn ourselves, and that's just part of the fun, because it turns out, and I didn't realise this until I came back from my holiday, we can make flame arrows. We can set things on fire at a long distance, and I think I've made it pretty clear already that I adore the bow and I adore the crossbow in this game, so having something which makes them more useful is really, really cool. And to do this, we are going to need some propellant, and to make that, I said to make that, if the raptor didn't get in the way and keeps hitting me, the propellant requires oil, which is very easy thanks to the jug bugs, and we need sulfur, and the sulfur I'm fairly certain you can find in the higher places on the map. I may be incorrect about this, don't worry, I will look it up before I go adventuring. So less exploring, more trying to find resource. Riveting, I know. But in addition to this, I will be heading towards the centre of the map because, as you can probably see already, I have some new armour. Now this armour is the desert equivalent of the cloth set, but of course much higher quality. In fact, the armour isn't too bad. For the chest here we have armour 40, whereas regular cloth has armour 10. So as you can tell, it's pretty darn decent. It's also very effective, just like cloth, at making sure you don't burn alive. In fact, it's even better at that, so yay for all of that. But the desert goggles and hat, which is the piece I'm currently missing, requires silica pearls, and I know where they are, and crystal. And I'm not sure where they are, and I'm fairly certain I did have silica pearls before, but I may have died. Now you may be asking yourself, how did I die? And I have no idea. I literally logged in, I was somewhere over there when I logged off, and apparently I got killed. I don't know what by, because I was AFK when I logged into the game, because I'm very silly. On the upside, remaking everything did give me a lot of experience, so we're going to start off now, heading to the middle of the map where I know we can find some silica pearls, and on the way, we'll just be on the lookout for some cool things, and in particular, sulfur. So, my lovely brute, once again, we ride. But this time I have a crossbow, so it'll probably be a little bit more aggressive than usual. Sorry, Jugbug. Not the worst supply drop ever, certainly not the most exciting though. So right now, this is next to our base, there is our current obelisk. So let's see if this is high enough to get sulfur. So far, I'm going to say no, and that is a Carno, and that is a Carno. So there's definitely two Carnos here. But so far, just metal, no crystal and no sulfur. Apparently it's also incredibly warm at the moment. How warm is it according to this? 46 degrees Celsius. That is really, really warm. Okay. I'm sorry, Trapped Carno, but you're basically free experience for Brute. Today we're just going to kill everything, I feel. I feel like today is the day we just go full-on aggressive and kill every life form we come across. Unless that life form happens to be a wyvern or a rock elemental or anything particularly scary, then we'll run away and kill them later. I'm currently suffering through heat stroke, and I've now explored the entire region around the base of those mountains, and there was pretty much nothing. Well, there was a lot of metal and a lot of very hostile animals, but no sulfur, which means I'm actually a little bit nervous. There's a good chance that the sulfur will only be spawning on the top of the mountains, because in the entry on the Wikipedia page, on the wiki, it says pretty much it spawns very high up, typically in mountains. I was hoping perhaps that simply meant the high sections around the mountain, but that may be false. I'm really hoping it isn't though. Lovely, lovely butt water. Welcome back to the Middle Oasis. We are almost at the location I was heading towards, and so far, I've seen no sulfur, but there is a large mountainous ridge just over there, so I think I could be a little bit hopeful. And yay, we've already found the silica pearls, which means now, all we need is the crystal, and we have ourselves a lovely helmet, and everyone is really happy. Hello, Raptor. Just stay there for me. I was hoping that'd do more damage, apparently not. I weakened it for you, Brute. That's just metal, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely not sulfur. The sulfur looks almost pure gold, so it should be fairly easy to see amongst all the normal metal. Because this is still the normal metal, it still has the regular colouring in it, so... Yep, regular metal. And so we continue our trek to find something a bit more unique. Hello, what are you? Okay, I'm almost certain that's not regular metal. Is it sulfur, though? It could be something else. Yeah, that doesn't look like the images I've been shown. What are you? You are salt! We have found a massive salt deposit. Okay, I mean, that's not terrible. We could use preserving salt to start making some better foods. So, sure. How heavy is the salt? Not very heavy at all. Okay, I'll throw away the stone and just collect all of that. Not what we were after, but certainly something unique. Yay for salt. Wow, there is really more salt here than the Robocraft forums. Remember earlier when I said I wasn't going to explore? Well, I've ended up exploring, because once again, in true Lathrixian fashion, I seem to not be able to do the thing I set out to do, but at least I end up doing something interesting. So, we are going to head towards those mountains over there, or that really large hill, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to go over towards those mountains over there, and that obelisk. The reason being, I have still found absolutely no sulfur, and I am determined to have flaming arrows. Because what is more fun than using a bow? Using a bow that can set other things on fire, and I really want that, and we found some more salt. This really isn't the best location, apparently. We are currently, if we look at the map, here. So very close to where we started off. And we want to end up then all the way over there. This may take a while, unless we can randomly find sulfur before then, which would be really, really good. A little bit too short. Now I feel silly. Stop moving, I'm trying to get a clear shot of the oddly stationary Rex. You know, we can call this survival of the fittest, really. He's not climbing, he's not trying to attack me to start off with, he was just taking arrow after arrow to the face. I think nature doesn't want this Rex to live. Which sounds really cruel now I say it out loud. Come back here, Rex. You're not meant to run away from a herbivore. I mean, it is Brute, to be fair, but even so. Brute's knockback is actually surprisingly effective, even against the more long-range enemies. If that Scorpion gets the killing blow, I'm going to be really upset. There we are, killing a Rex. Thus cementing Brute's place as the ultimate predator. And now we're playing with a Scorpion. Can you just die so I can loot the Rex, please? Thank you. Hello, Mr. Rex. What do you have for me today? Oh, yes, please. Okay, I'll be keeping that, though, for the helmet we'll be making later. And I'll be taking that, and 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 possibly this. And I have leveled up as well. Thank you very much. So I will increase my health. And Brute, I'm going to make you more brutey when you next level. More melee damage. I think it's about time now. More melee damage and more stamina. Since we are using Brute as essentially a war beast. Scorpions seem to have a tough time attacking Brute. They never seem to actually get in range, perhaps because the head gets in the way, I'm really not sure. Either way, one more scorpion down, and do scorpions actually drop anything? Answering that question fairly effectively, yes, they do, which means there's a good chance the other one drops something as well. No, you didn't, but I may as well harvest you both, so some lovely hide and some lovely chitin. What is that in the distance? It looks like a building. Really far out in the desert. Don't know if I'm going to go after that, but I'm definitely going to try and find a better vantage point. Look what I managed to find! So, there's an earth elemental. Now, I'm not sure if my lovely brute here can even hurt that thing, so naturally we're just going to run away. Yep, that right there is a rock elemental, an earth elemental, an evil elemental of earthy rockness. And that is a trapped Rex. That's how I managed to find it, because I was going to try and kill the Rex, which appears to be stuck. But now I'm not going to risk it. Well done, brute, for weathering one rock to the face. That is a vulture. Ooh. Those are mantises, manti. Mantids? Mantids. Mantises. Mantici. And I don't want to mess with them. I don't think Brute would have a problem killing them, but how much damage they deal. I don't want to risk it. Although we are really close now to that little hut. Should I risk it and go out there and see what's in the hut? I am tempted. Ooh! Sandstorm! Go inside. Okay, now I know for a fact I will slowly get sand whilst I'm outside in the sandstorm. I don't know what else it does to me though. I think it might sap stamina. Ooh, wow, that is horrifying. Okay, how do I make a tent? Tent, please. Tent, 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 tent. We need some thatch. That's all we need. Okay. Oh, I can't see a thing. I cannot see a thing right now. Definitely sapping stamina. Just need to get to that tree over there. Sandstorm. No sandstorm. Sandstorm. No sandstorm. Apparently tents are really effective. So much so, they can alter the weather from your perspective. Also, you have to be in a really specific place in the tent, otherwise you're still affected. Okay, I'm just going to wait here until the horrible weather blows over, and until then, I would just like to say, screw millipedes. Look what happened. I have no idea where the millipede was, but it shot at us, and all of my armor instantly broke. Apparently, it didn't matter that I was on Brute at the time. So yeah, new expensive armor, already ruined. The tent appears to be having vengeance for me trying to mock it, and I cannot get out of here right now. However, I believe I can probably simply pick up the tent. Aha! Take that, tent! And then replace it and everything will be absolutely fine. Because Ark doesn't have bugs. Why am I still being affected by the sandstorm? Oh no, no, no! Damn it, tent! I have no idea how I just managed to hit that. Hello, Mantis. There's a Mantis who's got really close to our camp several times, and as such, I want that thing gone now. Oh, I killed it! Yay! I didn't even need Brute. I'm sorry, Mantis, but this is also revenge for me dying to a Mantis earlier. Oh, it's died like it's crying. I'm sorry. Poor crying Mantis. But thank you for your chitin. It will help out a lot in the future. Now please don't bug out. The weather is back to being lovely and clear, and so our journey continues. What is that? Is that metal, or is that something really weird? Oh, it's a millipede. Hello. Well, you've already broken my expensive gear. Let's just make sure Brute takes that hit. There's not much more you can really do to me, other than be really annoying because our circles are basically the same. Also, why am I carrying so much? Do my animals also pick up sand? I knew I did, but... does Brute? Millipede, stop tanking shots so well. It's very annoying. There we are. So, how much sand do I have in Brute's inventory? I have none. Is it me? Oh, it's me. Okay, so it's that, plus of course the fact I'm currently holding a very heavy tent. Would it be worth it to just remake it later? It's not that difficult to make, so I think it would be best, and I'll be taking that, thank you very much. Let's continue onwards. Hello, creepy ruins. Once again, it seems like we can't really do much here, but there we are. Certainly very cool. I wonder if any of the ruins at all on this map actually have a use? Can we use them for something? Is there any reason for them being here, or are they just here for pure decoration? My money is on decoration, but maybe I'm wrong. It'll be nice if I am. We'll find out possibly in the future. And that is just metal. Thanks for the poop there, Brute. Very well timed. That's not even metal. It's just stone. Just very shiny, odd-looking stone. Well, that's going to help my search, isn't it? Also, loads of those moths around here. I am fairly certain I'm getting close to the level now where I can tame one and then saddle it up. What level do we need the saddle? So it's spelt like that. 45. So when we get to level 45, we can have our first flying mount, which, in case we can't get sulfur today, does mean we can get it in the future, but I'm fairly certain those don't have the highest weight capacity. Or maybe I'm wrong, which would actually be fantastic. Actually be fantastic is what I was trying to say there. I was suppressing a burp for about 2 minutes then. Yeah, bad idea when you're recording. Well, that was unexpected. So we have a very curious looking building on the top of this mountain, or hill, or whatever you want to call it. And then we also have this. I do not know what this is, but apparently I can't harvest it. I can harvest the little crystals around it just fine, which is fantastic because we did need crystal. But I can't seem to harvest the giant yellow crystal, so I have no idea. Absolutely no clue. Perhaps it's harvestable by things like Doedicurus or something like that, but I can't really interact with it in any way, so it is what it is, and I have no idea what that is. Also, there are sabers everywhere at the moment, so I'm going to stay put until poor little Brute here has healed up. Is this what I think it is? Next to the building. Oh, we have found sulfur! We have found the golden rock of which we seek. Oh, that is glorious. How heavy is sulfur? Because I want to bring back lots of it. Oh, even better, it's not a heavy resource. That is utterly wonderful. We are going to have so many flaming arrows, everything will be on fire, and I will be very, very happy. So, the big question remains then, how are we going to get back? Are we going to go over to that obelisk there and simply teleport back, or shall we just trek the way we came? It's relatively safe to go back the way we came. There seems to be a lot of paths. If you take the certain paths, there's not really that many enemy spawns. Only things like a random wyvern or a random rock elemental could really hurt us. Or wyvern, or however you want to say that. Big flying lizard. A really horrible thought has just crossed my mind. This type of rock, the sulfur we're currently harvesting, is surprisingly difficult to see amongst normal rocks, and honestly, there is a good chance I wouldn't have harvested this. The only reason why I noticed this is because it was in the shade, and whilst it's in the shade, those lovely little yellow seams become really obvious. But if it's in the sun, that is actually surprisingly difficult. Of course, now we know what we're looking for in the game, it's a lot easier, and I'm sure I won't miss them, but I'm almost certain I walked past some earlier. Now I'm trying to think about it, and I'm not even going to look at the footage right now because it will just be depressing. Let's just look at the bright side. We found a pretty building, we're on the top of a mountain, everything's nice and scenic, we've got some experience for both myself and for Brute, and we found some crystal as well, which we wouldn't have found if we didn't come up here, so it's all turned out for the best. I've just probably derped up a bit. I've got a sneaky suspicion that that rock there is an elemental. Because that rock does not match with any of the other rocks up here. Now, if that was on the desert floor, I think I would be fooled by it. However, I'm fairly certain I'm correct here. Oh yes, I was correct. Hello, Mr. Elemental. And let's get out of here right now. You know, just randomly shoot an elemental with an arrow because we're just brave like that. Or stupid like that. Fastest way down, definitely that way. Safest way down, that way. Also, the tranquilizing effect from the dragons seemed to take a really long time to wear off. I got hit like a good minute ago, and I'm still under the effects. Very annoying. Needless animal violence. Thank you, randomly dead Rex. Because you just gave me the thing I needed. Well done. Random animal kindness. You see, I'm a neutral entity. A mostly neutral entity. I'll be taking that, thank you very much. And now we should have enough oil to make a lot of the flame arrows. We have 48. Do I want more, or do I just want to go straight back? We're almost back already. It's been quite a uneventful route back, honestly. I think I've figured out the best path to get to and from the centre, and it's fairly simple. It's just this path here. You go up that ridge. I've only came down here because of that oil bug. You go along the ridge all the way, and then follow the flat area there. And there seems to be very few spawns, which means there are very few hostile spawns. Not including random things, though. I'm still fairly certain that the death worm, which apparently can appear pretty much anywhere, might be there, the rock elementals, which seem fairly random where they spawn, and perhaps one day the giant flying reptile, which will eat our faces. But for the most part, it's fairly safe. Honeys, we're home. And now, finally, it's time to make all of the items we went out for. And first of all, let's make ourselves the lovely new helmet. Mostly because I still need to fix everything else that got broken by the ever so lovely millipede. So, you, repair, and I can't repair you because I don't have enough hide, and now magically I do. Excellent. So all of you get repaired. And now, what do I need then? For the helmet, I require silica pearls, dink, and crystal. More dink. And now I finally have the full set. And I'm sure it will make Jothrix look utterly beautiful. You know, that doesn't help. I was kind of expecting it to look a little bit more helmet-like, but that's interesting. Look at those eyebrows going through the goggles. That is a thing of beauty. That is utterly beautiful in every way, and I'm sure no one would ever disagree. And am I currently using the wrong gloves? Yes, I am. Also the wrong shirt. There we are. The full set. I mean, it's a pretty cool armor set, to be honest. It certainly has a very nice aesthetic to it, but it is what it is, and what it is doesn't help Jothrix. Do I have anything burnable? Surprise! Oh yes, I do a little bit. I was about to say, surprisingly not, considering we have so much sulfur. Ooh, I wonder if you can burn sulfur. I don't know. Evidently not. Okay, then. That actually makes a lot of sense, now I think about it. Okay, ignoring my chemistry fail there. Let's put all this stuff in here. So all the sulfur and all the oil makes all of the propellant. And I'm hoping we make more than one per time. Let's see. No, only one at a time, so we won't really make all that much. But even so, it will be enough for a nice test. So let's wait until all of the propellant is made, and then we can make ourselves some flaming arrows. I am not good at waiting. I am not good at waiting at all. Let's just make the fire arrows. You equip. Excellent. And we load the flaming arrow, which just looks like a regular arrow, but on fire. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised by this. I really shouldn't be, but I kind of am. And I'm afraid you both are in the perfect position to be tested against. Now, watch me miss this shot. Phew. Called it. Absolutely called it. I hit every shot earlier, and then the one time we're actually testing something out, and I just completely derp it up. There we go, and wow. That is a far more fearsome looking animation than I originally thought it would be. Ooh, here's a good test. Does water stop the fire? I mean, it should do, but... Wow, you can actually see the wounds getting worse. That's a pretty powerful shot. Those things have a lot of health, so... And that was a level 20! Okay, flame arrows are officially sort of terrifying. And my aim has suddenly gone to crap. That is horrible. I don't know if I'm really happy with that or really terrified about how devastating it is. Oh my god, fire arrows are amazing! I need to find something where I'm more used to its health. And I don't like killing those. They're such peaceful giants. Also Brute. I just can't kill Brute's kin. Am I high enough level for the yellow supply drop? I can't remember what level that is. I'm level 40 at the moment. Let's go find out, and maybe we'll find something interesting. Also, what level did I need to be for the Thorny Dragon Saddle? Ooh. Ooh. Maybe one last goal before the end of the episode. Okay then, what do I need? I need... I need a lot of stuff. Okay, the hide isn't too difficult to get, considering we are now killing animals left and right. The clay is annoying, the wood is easy, so I guess we just need to make some more clay. How much do I have currently? I know I have some left over. We currently have 24 clay, we need way more sand. Also, why don't I store everything here? Okay, Raptor, you need to move, this is getting far too annoying. Just away. There we go, that's perfect. Well done you are no longer in my way and everybody is a little bit happier. But first, more flame arrows, while I wait. So all I need is more sand. So I'll go and collect some sand and I'll go to that supply drop and see if it can actually give me anything, and I'll go and collect some more hide so that I can maybe mount the dragon. And then I can pretend it's a normal dragon with wings and stuff. Come here, hide. Really? There are silica pearls right here. Well, I needed the crystal anyway, so I had to go out for it, but I really wished I had looked a little bit more. It turns out you need to be level 55 for a golden supply drop, so now all we need to do is go ahead and get some more sand, and that looks like it wants to kill me. Maybe we kill its family. We're just sending it to meet its family. It's really merciful and in no way is making me feel really bad. These arrows are amazing. Just utterly amazing. Oh, I forgot that you get 2 clay every time you complete that recipe. So now we already have enough clay, which is fantastic because that was easily the most boring part to harvest. So we have the clay, and I am fairly certain we need quite a bit of wood. So let's have a quick look-see at just how much we do need. We need 270 hide, which I definitely have, thanks to all the murder we've been doing. Let's have a look, see what else. We then also need 150 fibre, which is no problem because we have a sickle, and 125 wood. which is no problem because we're next to trees. Everything works out nice and neatly. I wonder if the sickle can collect silk. That's a question. The answer is yes, it can very effectively collect silk, so that's pretty darn awesome indeed. So, that's all the fibre sorted, so let's go ahead and get the wood, and then we are pretty much done. In fact, we are completely done. That's all we need. Come, Brute. I need your carrying capacity. Here we are, the saddle and the thorny dragon together at last, and I found out a couple of really interesting things. It turns out that the thorny dragon is essentially the beaver of the Scorched Earth DLC, because wood, thatch and stone, and I'm fairly certain some other resources, get a massive white discount when they're in the thorny dragon's inventory. Ooh, and suddenly there's a horrible storm which scared the absolute poop out of me. So, yeah, discounted white. On top of this, the Thorny Dragon can harvest wood really, really effectively. Observe, not quite as effectively as the beaver it seems, but certainly very well regardless, which means the Thorny Dragon is a really useful pet. And finally, look, I can still throw the spines. It's essentially a ranged scorpion. Which is amazing, because even though the trank effect is pretty mild, it's ranged, which makes it really helpful. And surprisingly hard to aim, considering you shoot so many. It's a bit difficult to tell where you're firing. And I wonder if every dart stacks, and yes, I can hardly see anything either. And that looks really silly. Yeah, I've added the special skin which you start the game with, which just gave it this little construct on the top, and I'm not certain if I like it or not. The trank effect is really mild, and it's probably not stacking either. Get knocked out already. Whilst I continuously throw thorns into this poor thing's backside, I did forget to mention one other thing. The saddle, much like the beaver, can also act as a smithy, which means you can build on the go. The only problem is the Thorny Dragon has quite low health and quite low stamina in terms of how long it can run for, so I don't think I'll ever use it as a main mount, which is a shame, because all the other things make it really, really awesome, even if the tranquilizing effect apparently has a lot to be desired. Again, it's so hard to aim. There we are. Get knocked out already. I assume similar to the Scorpion, the more melee damage I have, the more effect the tranquilizers have, but for now, it's taking a long time. Well, it took around about 6 minutes, but there we are, we finally knocked this thing out, and one thing I've instantly noticed is how little damage we've actually caused, which means, even though the trank effect is pretty mild, because we're not really doing any damage, this could be really good at taming the weaker animals, like the adorable little ones which are pretty much everywhere. So maybe that's what it'll be used for, but it does turn out that the melee damage is linked to the tranquilizing effect, which means as we make this one stronger and stronger, it will be better and better at taming, so that's fairly awesome. Also, we could try to breed them to make the ultimate melee damage, ultimate stamina turret, or we could of course just try and capture a higher level one in the wild. Either way though, a really cool and really interesting all-round mount. And with that, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's episode. So, if you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Ark Survival Evolved is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.